Hello, my name is Jessica Lau. Today I would like to present to you a new business trend called outsourcing. Oops, I mean insourcing. Here's the agenda for today's presentation. I will begin by providing you a definition of insourcing. But before we look into details, I will quickly touch on why outsourcing occurred. It is important to understand how outsourcing have affected business to gain a better view of how the insourcing trend relates. After, I will talk about the importance and benefits of insourcing, provide you with some examples of organizations that have utilized this trend, and show you if insourcing is a growing trend. At last, I will conclude with how organizations can take advantage of insourcing and how it may affect them in the near future. So, what is insourcing? Some has defined the term as just simply the opposite to outsourcing. In case some of you who are not familiar with the term outsourcing, it is when companies contract out jobs to offshore companies. For example, how Apple sourced out its manufacturing of iPhones to China, or how big companies contract out their call centers to India. Other people have defined insourcing as reshoring, onshoring, and inshoring, which in general means building a facility, hiring a subcontractor, or contracting in jobs to the national country where the company originated from. So instead of buying services from a third party, you provide the service internally, usually to delegate production operations to a standalone entity that specializes in that operation. Recently, Obama has been using the term insourcing a lot. What he means when he uses this term is both in reference to bringing jobs and activities back to US and choosing to invest in the US instead of overseas. I know based on the description of insourcing, the practice may not appear to be something very new. However, the importance to insourcing is the fact that recently it has picked up as becoming a new trend and have altered a bit in the definition. But unfortunately, due to this reason, the term insourcing has become relatively new in a sense, which causes the definition a little uncertain and interchangeable. Let's look at the reasons to why outsourcing occurred in the first place and its impact on business before we go on with insourcing. One of the main reasons for outsourcing is to lower the cost of production. Most companies, if not all, are about lowering costs and making profits. Another reason for outsourcing is for the speed and flexibility, which was the reason stated by a former executive at Apple when the company decided to revamp the iPhone just weeks before it was to be launched at the stores. In one study by the Hackett Group, it indicated that there was a loss of 1.35 million back office jobs since 2000 in the US due to offshoring. In fact, this number has been increasing for more than 10 years. According to a study done by Cornell University and the University of Massachusetts Amherst in 2004, the research indicated that in 2001, 204,000 jobs were lost in the manufacturing side due to the outsourcing. This number went up to 406,000 jobs in 2004. According to Gallup's survey, 57% of companies who outsource have said they got 100% of their expected benefits. Well, if outsourcing is so good and has so many benefits, then why is there all of a sudden this trend called insourcing? Based on the study of some US companies, the reasons are because costs such as labor in China and India has been going up. For example, Master Lock has indicated that it moved its production back to US due to this. Secondly, the American workers are becoming more productive and efficient than before. Thirdly, with the US ability in domestic energy production, it has helped companies to lower its energy costs and production. Lastly, the manufacturing cost in US has been improving and making it more competitive to other countries around the world. There's a few benefits to insourcing. Through insourcing, companies can have better control over its costs, critical production, competencies, and future direction of function, as seen with many IT companies. There's enhanced flexibility, improved efficiency, and reduction in cost and time spent on contract management. It also boosts local engagement and accountability, increase staff motivation, maintain and redevelop expertise and capacity. It creates synergy and added value. Last but not least, it reduces costs of taxes, labor, and transportation. This is especially true in Obama's recent proposal of tax benefits for companies who bring jobs back to the US. There's also benefits to society through insourcing. For example, there's lower unemployment for the local economy, and as Obama stated, it helps overall to rebuild the economy. So is insourcing really growing? Well, according to Orbitz Consulting, Deloitte has stated that 64% of companies are bringing back deals to in-house. And according to Obama, insourcing is a growing trend. Based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics report on mass layoffs, in 2008, before Obama took office, companies were laying off more than 11,000 American workers due to outsourcing. In 2009, this number dropped to 10,300, and in 2010, it went down to 5,300. And in the White House report, there was an increase of 334,000 manufacturing jobs over the last 2 years and a 5.7% increase in manufacturing production. According to the White House, this increase of investment of $153 billion in 2009 to $228 billion in 2010 on training the U.S. workforce, manufacturing, and processing plants is a great indicator that insourcing support is going up. There has been a few organizations that have utilized insourcing. For example, when JP Morgan merged with Bank One in 2004, it took away the outsourcing job with IBM. Ford Motor has recently stated that it plans to invest $16 billion and add 12,000 new American jobs by 2015. Masterlock has brought back jobs from China. Keen has opened manufacturing facility in Portland, and Nova One has opened facilities in Michigan. Lastly, Kelwood has transferred back some of its offshore work to New Jersey. So how does companies take advantage of this trend? Well, as mentioned earlier, there are many benefits. Also, understanding that there's this growing trend, companies should start early and plan ahead to see if insourcing or outsourcing is best for them in the long term. Bring back functions before outsourcing and insourcing costs both become too high. It has been stated that insourcing can be quite tricky in the beginning due to the need to bring back skills that was once sourced out. This may create risks and costs. A way to overcome this is to study the practice of your outsourced partners. For the US in particular, companies should take advantage of the tax break and the incentives. How this affects business in the future? Well, outsourcing will continue to be significant, but insourcing will take back some of the outsourced jobs. Outsourcing and insourcing will be working together. So what this means is that for us, business owners and managers, we need to decide on what areas to outsource and what areas to insource within a company. And if insourcing is chosen, then this means companies will have better control over its business and increase its competencies. There will be a more stabilized and growth in the local economy, and this will also affect globalization. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.